right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, claw marks, bite marks, bandages. There's a third victim of a vicious dog attack. You'll hear from him.
Typical summertime weather for the next couple of days in St. Louis, but new information tonight showing rain chances increasing for some of us this weekend.
And tonight's top story, broken hearts meet to remember a classmate.
This is a very traumatic situation.
A vigil just wrapping up for this teenage girl killed on Table Rock Lake. Thank you for joining us tonight on 5 on your side at 10. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. The Parkway West High School community gathered at a vigil this evening in honor of 15-year-old Kendall Johnson. Pepper Baker joins us now live from campus where the vigil happened just moments ago.
Mike, and without knowing who Kendall Johnson was, I got a sense for the impact that she left behind here in this community. It was a big turnout. Emotions were very high. Lots of tears, hugging, and stories shared by the people who will never forget her. A few hundred broken hearts gathered at Parkway West High School's softball field, where they wish they could see number 23, Kendall Johnson, play one more time.
She was really gregarious, had a bunch of friends, was really funny. She sounded really fun and a really good athlete as well.
Counseling coordinator Aaron Schulte is working with family and students after 15-year-old Johnson died Sunday afternoon in a boating accident on Table Rock Lake. Schulte rolled out their response plan that night.
The people that were more directly impacted, we started gathering resources from the outside. This is a very traumatic situation, so they're going to need something different and bigger than what a school district can offer.
She called in their school counselors to offer services at the Welcome Center. They're helping students process the tragedy and prepare for what's ahead.
It becomes real when the first day of school happens and that person isn't there, or we have the first softball game and she's not there, or it's homecoming, etc.
Wednesday night's vigil was a student-led effort that circulated online, and many showed up to pay their respects.
We've heard kids just relay really great memories of being with her, and especially the softball team had a lot to say about just fun times of being a teammate with her, and she was such a good teammate to them. And so I know that they all will miss that very much.
The students placed flowers and balloons on the first base, which was one of the positions that Johnson played. She would have been an upcoming sophomore this year, and her funeral arrangements are planned for this Friday at 10 a.m. at the Crossing Church in Chesterfield. Live in Baldwin, Pepper Baker, 5 on your side.
A 12-year-old girl is fighting for her life tonight after getting shot on the head in North St. Louis. It happened late last night at the intersection of Bessie and Shreve in the Penrose neighborhood. Police say the girl was in the back seat of a stopped car when someone opened fire. Police say one of the men with the girl became irate and stopped cooperating with them, making this investigation even more difficult, and so far no arrests in the case.
5 on your side has learned a third man was attacked by 3 dogs in one North Side neighborhood over the weekend. In a story you'll only see on 5 on your side, our Robert Townsend caught up with the survivor a few hours ago, shortly after he left the hospital.
I'm walking through the alley, throwing the trash away for a lady that I know around the corner.
Moments after his good deed Sunday night,
I heard barking.
23-year-old Kevin Davis says he suddenly had a terrifying encounter in his North St. Louis neighborhood with 3 dogs.
Oh, this is my first time seeing them 3 dogs.
The dogs attacked the 130-pound man.
So then they started biting my ankles, and then after that, they started biting me even harder.
The pit bull terriers bit him on his arms, fingers, and legs. It happened about a block away from his home in the Penrose neighborhood.
Well, I didn't know what to do after that, so hey, I started fighting back.
Fighting for his life.
They was biting me. They was ripping on my arms and, pulling all up on, ripped my nail off.
Davis tells me he was walking across this park headed home when those dogs suddenly came out of nowhere and just started attacking him. He finally got away from those 3 pit bulls, but only after he hopped over this fence.
The dog tried to jump over the fence and bit me on this arm and gripped my arm and tried to pull me back over the fence.
Did you think they'd kill you?
Yeah, I thought they was. I didn't know they killed I didn't know they killed one person, and then I didn't know another person got injured.
Police say the night before Davis's attack, the same dogs mauled and killed Davis's neighbor. 62-year-old Dennis Moore in an alley on San Francisco Avenue.
He was a cool guy.
And investigators tell us the dogs also attacked a 92-year-old man taking out the trash. Meanwhile, Davis's relieved family,
very grateful, because I thought he was gone.
There go my baby.
Including his baby, his beloved American pit bull, Hennessy, are all just glad to have him home.
Glad to be here with everybody.
Robert Townsend.
Yeah, I felt lucky.
5 on your side.
St. Louis Animal Control sees 3 dogs that are being housed at their shelter relating to this investigation.
New tonight, 3 serious crimes surrounding hard drugs happening all across the St. Louis area. The first comes out of St. Charles County, where a man is charged with supplying fentanyl to a mother of 3. That mom overdosed and died. Charging documents say her children, ages 2, 4, and 2 months, were alone in a bedroom for 20 hours before a neighbor heard their screams. 37-year-old Valentine Therese Carpenter from Maryland Heights could face up to 20 years in prison, a fine of up to $1 million, or both.
In St. Louis County, at least 400 pounds of meth is found inside a storage unit, making it the biggest bust in the division's history. The head of the DEA says meth has a street value of about $2,500 to $3,000 per pound. That means this drug bust is worth more than $1 million. Police charged 68-year-old Colby Christensen from Wildwood. Another bust tonight, this one in St. Louis City. Police found more than just drugs this time. Officers worked alongside FBI, U.S. Marshals, and other law enforcement yesterday afternoon to target a gang during multiple raids. 31 search warrants resulted in 16 arrests and 55 charges. Police seized fentanyl, crack cocaine, heroin, marijuana, money, and 27 firearms.
She helped me. She was my backbone.
Lovable, gifted, irreplaceable. That's how friends and loved ones described an Alton business owner killed after getting into a tour bus crash in Jamaica. The crash happened Saturday, and today the community expressed how deeply they loved Yvonne Campbell, the owner of My Just Desserts.
And we all got a chance to hug her and to say how much we love her and appreciate her, just not knowing that that was the finality and not knowing that we were actually afforded an opportunity to say goodbye.
There's a GoFundMe account set up to help bring Yvonne and her family back home from Jamaica. If you want to help, there's a link on this story on our website. Just look under the As Seen on TV section.
Tonight, we're learning new information about the latest COVID strain that appears to be more infectious than any other strain we've seen of the virus. It has doctors reminding St. Louisans to stay vigilant. Brent Solomon joins us now with what he's learned. Brent.
And first, it was just a coronavirus. Then we learned about the Delta variant, Omicron after that. Now there's BA.5, and this strain is unlike any doctors have seen during the pandemic.
It's the latest variant of COVID-19 that's surging throughout the nation. Over the past few weeks, some 100,000 cases of the new BA.5 COVID strain have been reported. The St. Louis area is seeing it too.
We are seeing a little rise now.
Dr. Farrah Gray of 24/7 Urgent Care in St. Louis wants you to stay on your guard. BA.5 is no joke.
When viruses start changing, mutating, we call it, they become a little bit stronger or better at trying to get into our system, into our bodies.
Experts say it's as contagious as measles, and doctors believe it may be more infectious than any other variant of COVID thus far. It's also harder to detect than other strains.
It may feel like, we're chasing COVID, but really we're a step ahead of them. We've got medicines now. We're better prepared. We know how to wear our mask, wash our hands.
St. Louis is at a high community level when it comes to the spread of COVID. The health department believes 70% of new cases are because of BA.5. It's why Dr. Gray says if you haven't been vaccinated, it's time to reconsider that. And if you have, talk with your doctor to see if it's time for a booster, even if you've already had a booster.
Wear the proper mask, a surgical mask or N95 mask is really important. And please wear them over your nose because it loves to enter our bodies through the nostrils. And I think just keeping your distance is another a good idea in close quarters. Try to get fresh air. Exercise is always helpful to our bodies.
And to help stop the spread of BA5, doctors are saying keep getting tested. Some are even suggesting if you get a negative result back, get tested again to make sure. That's because BA5 is spreading fast.
Stomping through the Capitol, demanding a change.
So no one has to go through what I've gone through. Most of my friends passed away.
The pleas for a new America, one day after Uvalde's upsetting school surveillance video is leaked. Finding a home in what feels like an impossible market. The housing trends turning buyers' dreams into realities.
While it's definitely not a washout weekend, some of us have the opportunity for some badly needed rainfall. The challenges we face in timing out the potential for downpours.
Chants and pleas rain out across D.C. today as grieving families rallied for a ban on assault weapons. Loved ones from Highland Park, Illinois, and Uvalde, Texas, and other recent mass shootings called for change just one day after the upsetting Robb Elementary School surveillance video is leaked. During 4 minutes of highly edited surveillance video, the gunman is seen walking into the school with an assault rifle, followed by police who rushed down a hallway, but when they heard shots, quickly retreated. Some of the strongest reactions tonight come from the parents of the young victims in Uvalde, Texas.
My baby, she was scared. I know she was scared. They were all scared. And I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Breaks your heart. Families were told they would get a chance to review this video before it was released to the public, and that was supposed to happen on Sunday.
Tonight, a family takes legal action after a woman loved as a sister and daughter died in June's deadly Amtrak derailment. The train derailed in Mendon, Missouri when it collided with a dump truck on the track. The woman was from DeSoto, Kansas, and boarded in Kansas City. 4 people died and more than 100 passengers were hurt. The wrongful death lawsuit includes charges against the railroad's contractor, the railway, and an employee.
Manchester is looking into adding 1,400 acres to its jurisdiction. That means 6,500 unincorporated St. Louis County residents would belong to the city of Manchester through this annexation. It includes the Barrett Station, Manchester Road, and Carmen Road region. The mayor of Manchester says people who live in the unincorporated area will pay a bit more in personal and real estate property taxes, but the big savings are in trash. They also plan to add 13 law enforcement officials to accommodate the increase. The big focus is to provide easier access and faster government services.
It doesn't get any better. When you become bigger, as St. Louis County is, or the city of St. Louis, the connection to the residents become much, much farther apart.
The public can weigh in on this up until next Tuesday, July 19th. The Boundary Commission then has 9 months to determine whether this option will go to the voters.
Whether you buy or rent, the cost of housing could be cooling down. Don't get us wrong, it's still a hot market, but there are signs that the times are changing. Michelle Lee reports on when you might be able to see and feel a difference.
We've all heard that the housing market is impossible, but lately it's been a little easier to buy and the rental market may not be far behind.
Let's say this time last year, we might have had 30 offers on a property. Now we might have 6.
The market is shifting, both for renting and buying. Kathy Helbig-Strick of Experience Real Estate Partners says that's because of the economy and rising rates. One big change is that the hedge funds, or the institutional investors she works with, are slowing down on buying properties used to flip for rentals.
The buyers are going to have less competition during that time frame because the investors aren't going to be making the offers. Some of them, I can't speak for all of them.
According to Zumper, a rental tracking company, monthly rent for a 2-bedroom fell nearly 3% nationwide year over year, and mortgage applications fell to its lowest in 22 years, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association.
What's over here? Oh, this is great. So
it can be a positive for people like Jessica Kuhlman, who needed to find a house for her kids on a single income.
Moving out just a little bit gave me that option to have a backyard for my kids to play in.
Jessica moved out to Forestdale and paid $5,000 over asking, but she kept her appraisal and inspection. Pretty impressive given the market.
I was a little nervous about if I would be able to get in just with the housing costs going up. But with the help of my amazing realtor, like we found the perfect home, and I could not be happier.
Proving that it's still possible to find a dream home in what's been an impossible market. Michelle Lee, 5 on your side.
Housing can still be tough for people looking to buy their first home, as the supply in general is still low. And while St. Louis has some of the lowest rent rates in the country, the average 2-bedroom goes for nearly $1,300. That's a 2% increase from last year.
June's inflation numbers are in, and President Biden is calling them unacceptably high. Inflation rose 9.1% last month. That is the highest yearly jump since 1981, 41 years. The price of gas is up almost 60%. Rent went up 5.6% over last June, and food, at home and dining out, increased 10.4%. With gas prices and inflation a lot higher than we'd like to see, it's making shoppers rethink how they're spending their money.
Everything else has gone up, so I'm not buying any goodies or any extras or anything like that.
It may be a good week for online sales, but that's not where the money is going this summer. Economy experts say sales are down and families are spending their money on vacations. But taking a lesson from inflation during the 70s, experts say it might be worth stocking up.
Many in St. Louis could get a fresh start on their electric bills this summer. Ameren, Missouri has added $1 million to its Clean Slate Fund. That's a program that helps middle-income customers clear their past due balances. To be eligible, you must have an Ameren account that is past due, on a payment agreement, or in need of reconnection. Have a household income of up to 300% above the federal poverty level. Pay 10% of the past due balance and be experiencing financial hardship. Customers are encouraged to apply as soon as possible. It's beautiful, but it sure stinks. A single flower attracted so much attention in St. Louis that more than 2,000 people visited the Missouri Botanical Garden in 48 hours. They all got a glimpse and a whiff of Luna, the corpse flower, known for her scent of rotting flesh. Today, she was in full bloom.
It's just beautiful, and it's amazing to see. Okay, I was expecting a little fragrance on, more odor out of it and everything, but well, it's at least to see. Very happy to see it's got to see it a fairly good blooming situation on it and everything.
Corpse flowers can take 5 to 10 years to grow. This is the 12th corpse flower bloom at the Botanical Garden since 2012.
One thing that wasn't stinky today, that beautiful sunny weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking some storms tonight. And Scott, I know that the farmers, they really need some rain.
They really need some rain, and the timeline for it looks like it's this weekend. But we do have that full moon tonight, and with a clear sky, what a beautiful shot. We saw it coming up, and some of you are sharing your pictures with us. You can easily do that. Look at this one with the full moon. It's the buck moon because the bucks are growing their antlers at this point. You know, they're in business at this hour, and you can share your pictures because that moon is beautiful tonight. The sky is nearly crystal clear. We want to see them. Use the Near Me button on the 5 on Your Side app, and you can share your pictures with us instantaneously. It was hot this afternoon, but the humidity stayed in check, right? So our dew points actually dropped back into the 50s this afternoon. Tomorrow, we think they're staying in the 60s during the afternoon. We managed to get into the low 90s. Those scattered thunderstorms dropping in from the north across northern and central portions of Illinois, mostly over into Indiana. Not our problem. And it looks like anything for tomorrow would be east and northeast of us as well. 83 degrees. We've dropped off pretty well this evening in St. Louis. Feels like it's 84. 2 points now back up to 62. 92 for the high, 69 for the low. So we average out a little above average. Tomorrow morning, most of us will be a degree or two warmer than where we started this morning, but it's the humidity you'll notice tomorrow afternoon. It's on the increase. East and northeast of St. Louis, potentially you see a sprinkle or two. Friday, there's still that chance east and northeast of St. Louis, but it's really heading into Saturday, especially the focus shifting to our north and west Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening for a complex of thunderstorms to develop somewhere to our north and west, then drift over us as we head into the wee hours Sunday morning, and then off and on potentially into Sunday afternoon. We may stay in the 80s. The reason why is we're trying to get this big heat dome that's out to the west to nudge our way. In that process, we have disturbances that come across the top of that big dome, and then they dive to the southeast, and that kicks off areas of showers and thunderstorms, usually in the form of a pretty good sized complex. So potentially, as that heat tries to build in across the region, we have some decent rain for some folks, potentially, especially Saturday night into Sunday. Exactly where that's going to be at this point, a little hard to pin down because we've got to track those disturbances as they become more defined, and they're not that defined at this point. Some better rain chances on Sunday compared with Saturday. It's really Saturday night into Sunday when we would deal with those higher rain chances, and boy, do we need it, especially southwest of St. Louis. Drought monitor comes out tomorrow, and it's not expected to look good, and it won't get any better next week as the heat builds in, and we get close to 100 by the middle of next week with the humidity to go along with that.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Well, I thought the Dodgers were bringing out the best in the Cardinals, but I'm not sure right now. And as free agency opened in the NHL, the Blues had a day that has the town talking. Stick around, please. So there are 5 teams in the National League with better records than the Cardinals. There are no teams in the National League with a 1-2 punch like Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. So when you have Adam Wainwright looking sharp, you can beat anybody. Now this guy, Tony Gonsolin, hasn't lost to anybody. He was 11-0 for the Dodgers. You think Goldie cares? There's a base knock in the third. That scores 2-0 Cardinals. The next hitter, Arenado, goes deep. That's homer number 18, and it's a 4-0 lead. The 40-year-old wonder, Waino, was wonderful. 5 Ks, 5 1/3 innings, and no runs allowed. Got to show you Andrew Kisner, who has struggled, but now he has 6 hits in the last 3 games, including this RBI double, which scored Lars Nootbaar. It was 5-0. The Cardinals later led 6-0. When you look at this play by Arenado, I think he's actually better than Scott Rowland. What a play at third base tonight. But the Dodgers came back. Max Muncy, a sac fly in the 9th, which tied the game at 6, and the Dodgers have just taken a 7-6 lead in the 9th inning. Hey, let's head to Minnesota, and you're going to like this. Jose Miranda hits a walk-off upper deck blast off Josh Hader. Hader has given up runs in 4 of his last 5 outings, so he's a human after all. Twins win 4-1, and the Cardinals, if they could win, would be just a game back. So you can't deny Doug Armstrong's resume with the Blues. Winningest GM in history with over 500 victories. And his teams have posted 5 of the 6 best regular seasons in Blues history. And he just hasn't made many mistakes. In fact, he's never had to buy out a contract. So today, NHL free agency began, and Army had an active day. It began with a blockbuster move. 23-year-old Robert Thomas agreed to an 8-year, $65 million contract. It goes into effect the following season. Thomas had a breakout season, amassing 20 goals, 77 points in 72 games. He is your franchise, folks.
We look at him as the centerpiece of our organization moving forward. You look at his point total as a 22-year-old. I think it might have been the most points by any 22 or under player in the league last year, if not very close.
You know, it's felt like a second home, and you know, I'm happy to make it my home now and for a long time. And that's why I couldn't have been more excited to sign that deal, and keeps me there for a long time. So couldn't be happier.
After that, the Blues gave defenseman Nick Leddy $16 million for 4 years. Leddy is 31 years old, but the Blues like his history of winning and the skill he brings from the back line. So that's the good news. The bad is David Perron. Perron signed a 2-year deal with Detroit. It will pay $4.75 million a year. So you just lost 27 goals. So the question you have to ask yourself right now, are the Blues a better team tonight at 10:20 as opposed to last night at 10:20? I think the answer is no. However, as I said last night, I live by 4 words. In Doug, we trust. Armstrong has plenty of time to tweak this roster. And the Blues also made some minor moves today. They signed Detroit goaltender Thomas Greiss to a 1-year deal, $1.25 million. 24-year-old forward Will Bitton got a two-way contract, and 30-year-old center Noel Charlie got a $1.25 million one-year deal. And that will do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
First, we were from the 314, then we added the 636, the new 3 digits that'll be added to the area this year.
A new local area code will be popping up on your phone later this year. That's because St. Louis is running low on 314 numbers, so it's adding 557. The new 557 area code will roll out as early as August in what's called an area code overlay, but don't fret, existing numbers won't be affected. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show is next.